Hello and welcome to online informational opportunity number 2 for the Viola Road Northeast and Cassidy Drive Northeast intersection improvement project. My name is Brian Malm and I'm an engineer with Bolton and Menk, and I'm leading the design team the city hired to develop this project, which is a joint project between the city of Rochester and Olmsted County to improve this intersection. As noted, this is the second public informational opportunity for this project. If you weren't able to attend the first online open house or haven't had a chance to watch the video recording from the open house, I'd suggest you go to the website and watch that first. That presentation will give more detail about how we got to where we are at today with the project. The agenda for this meeting will include some background on the project, provide a look at the latest project layout, some basic information about the proposed construction schedule, a look at the proposed detour and phasing plan, and information on next steps in the project. So let's jump into the project background. As a reminder of the goals of this project, as our team was looking at potential solutions for improving this intersection, there were 6 key objectives that we considered with each solution. Increase pedestrian safety and connections, increase awareness of the school area, provide safe facilities, lower vehicle speeds, reduce conflict points between pedestrians and vehicles, improve circulation and access to all modes of travel. Next, let's talk about work that has been done to date on the project. In 2007, an intersection control evaluation, or ICE report, was completed. At that time, no changes in traffic control were recommended. In 2017, traffic counts were collected to determine whether traffic signal warrants were met or not. It was determined that warrants were not met at that time, but projected to be met with future growth. So the city put a project in their 6-year capital improvement plan, which carried through the year 2023. Discussions were held between city and county staff in 2020 and 2021, and an updated ICE report was completed in 2021. The 2021 ICE report recommended a roundabout as the proposed intersection control method, and preliminary design for the roundabout began late last year. In February, open house number 1 was held to provide information about the project and gather public feedback. As previously mentioned, the presentation at this open house provided more information on the problems at the intersection and how and why a roundabout was selected as the proposed solution. In March 2022, the preliminary layout for the proposed roundabout was approved by the City-County Project Management Team, and final design began on the project. And that brings us to today, where final design is nearly complete, and we are ready to present information on the anticipated construction schedule and detour and phasing plan. Next, let's look at the approved project layout. This slide shows an aerial colored view of the layout. Things to note include the transition from 2 lanes in each direction to a single lane roundabout. This is due to the fact that traffic volumes are not high enough to justify a multi-lane roundabout. And experience tells us that overbuilding roundabouts can cause safety issues. Roundabout geometry by nature reduces approach speeds and speeds within the circulatory roadway, which improves safety. Those reduced speeds, typically 15 to 20 miles per hour, and roundabout geometry eliminates high severity right angle crashes and reduces other crashes to low speed, low severity type crashes. The single lane roundabout also allows for a much shorter 2-staged pedestrian crossing with a median refuge. This is much safer than the long multi-lane pedestrian crossing that currently exists or would exist if a signal were installed. Lastly, note the trail gap that will be filled on the south side of the roadway and the bike ramps to accommodate bikers through the intersection, for those less experienced on-road bikers who prefer not to ride through a roundabout. This rendering shows what the roundabout would look like on an aerial photo on a nice snowy day. Apologies for that, as I know we're trying to forget about those snowy days. But alas, we know they will come again. Note that this is a graphic representation, and some of the finer details, such as final grades, light pole locations, signing, striping, may not be accurate compared to the final design. However, this should give you a good idea of what the finished product may look like. As you can see, there are pedestrian crossings on the north, south, and west legs of the roundabout. Let's talk about pedestrian crossings at roundabouts. As mentioned, roundabouts have reduced traffic speeds of 15 to 20 miles per hour. This reduces the incidence and severity of pedestrian crashes should they happen. This also includes a raised median between the traffic lanes that creates a safe refuge for pedestrians crossing the road. This allows them to break up the crossing decision-making process into a single lane at a time, focusing on one direction of traffic at a time. Lastly, studies show that the yield rate for pedestrians at pedestrian crossings, the yield rate for vehicles at pedestrian crossings at single lane roundabouts is 83%, as opposed to 7% at uncontrolled signed crossings, such as what exists today at the intersection. So with all of that, pedestrian crossing should be much safer with a roundabout than the current situation. Next, let's talk about the construction schedule. Construction of this project will take place in the summer of 2023. It is anticipated that construction will begin after the last day of school and conclude prior to school beginning again in the fall. A more detailed construction schedule will be available after the project is bid and a contractor is on board, likely in the late winter or early spring of 2023. Construction will take place in 3 basic stages, each involving different traffic shifts and detours. Stage 1 will include detouring Cassidy Drive traffic along interior roads on Century High School property. Temporary traffic control and pedestrian crossing enhancements will be implemented to allow for pedestrian traffic crossing from the parking lots to the athletic fields during the summer months. East-west traffic along Viola Road will be shifted to the south edge of the roadway on the existing shoulder and temporary paving. This will allow the north half of the new roundabout to be constructed. Century Hills Drive will be closed to traffic. Residents in neighborhoods to the south will need to use alternate routes for access, such as Century Valley Road Northeast or Shannon Oaks Boulevard Northeast. During stage 2, Cassidy Drive will reopen to traffic and westbound Viola Road traffic will be routed through the north half of the roundabout. Eastbound Viola Road traffic will remain on the south edge of the roadway on temporary paving, and Century Hills Drive will remain closed. This will allow the south half of the roundabout to be constructed. Finally, during stage 3, Viola Road and Cassidy Drive traffic will be routed through the newly constructed roundabout, while the connection to Century Hills Drive is constructed. Once the roundabout is completed, Century Hills Drive will reopen to traffic and the roundabout will be open and completed. So as we look at the project schedule, we are here in May 2022 at open house number 2. The next major step will be construction, likely beginning in June 2023. In between now and then, the project team will be working to finish final plans and specifications and will be taking bids on the project later this year. If you would like more information on the project, such as the video and information from open house number 1, information on roundabouts in general, to sign up for email updates, or to view in-person open house materials, please go to the project website that's listed on this slide. Lastly, as always, if you would like to talk directly to a project representative, here is my contact information. Feel free to give me a call directly or shoot me an email. If you would like to talk to the city's project manager, that is Brett Jenkinson, and his contact information is also listed here. With that, I'd like to thank you for watching this presentation, and I hope you have a good day. Thanks.